Yo, what's going on, guys? In AFD or AHN Fire Digital, I guess it's called, put out a report by Peter Dewey. And I know they're not the most reputable, but sometimes they put some stuff together that's pretty good, and it's usually based off of other reports. And basically, what they're hearing right here from TSN's Josh Lewenberg. So this is really Peter Dewey reporting off of a report from Josh Lewenberg that Fred VanVleet will opt out of his contract and join Jakob Poeltl and Gary Trent Jr. as unrestricted free agents this summer. Siakam and OG Anunoby have been and will continue to be featured in trade speculation. Outside of Scottie Barnes, who is coming off of, some people have said it was a sophomore slump, but I think, there was some there were some good moments and there's some down moments. And I think near the end of the year, he picked it up. So basically everyone except Scottie Barnes is available as they head to, nearing the draft and free agency. So from what we know, OG Anunoby was being shopped, and they ultimately decided, and basically we heard Memphis and New Orleans were battling it out, and they ended up deciding not to trade him because Memphis didn't want New Orleans to get him and New Orleans didn't want Memphis to get him. And they ended up making a win now move to get Jakob Poeltl. And they did play, well, and with Jakob Poeltl being a true center in the lineup, but they weren't able to make the playoffs. They made the play and lost. They fired Nick Nurse, and they're going in a new direction. We know that Emi Udoka is a big candidate there, and trading away players like Siakam and OG Anunoby, who are cornerstones, would be tough. But it also, Peter Dewey writes, may be the best way to build around Barnes. We know VanVleet's coming off his worst shooting year. I personally think you move on from VanVleet, you're going to have, hopefully, right now, a decent pick, all right? And that pick right now could be number 13. You could potentially get yourself someone like Cassam Wallace and actually get a point guard or go out in free agency. There's the other thought that you could sign and trade Fred VanVleet to a team like Orlando or Phoenix and bring somebody back, because we know Orlando and Phoenix are two teams interested, as well as OKC. Orlando has a plethora of point guards that they could be interested in. And again, VanVleet shot 34% from three, 39% from the field, and he turns 30 at the end of next season. Siakam, who's an all-star, is the guy who would get the closest to a Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell type package, okay? And he's under contract through the 23-24 season. And Anunoby, same thing, 23-24. He might not get you as much as Siakam, but he'll also get you, from what I've heard, either one good player and 2 picks, or 2 good players and 1 picks. What I've heard from Siakam is, but also the Raptors have said they want 3 picks and a good player for each of these guys, at least. That's the starting offer. I'm pretty sure from what we've heard, speculation. And Barnes is the guy that they're building around, or they want to. And if they truly want to build around Barnes, the team needs to make some moves to get more spacing and shooting around him, which will allow him to be the playmaker slasher, all right, that he was. Because right now, if we look at Scottie Barnes, he either is going to be the point guard, you either go where he actually is your point guard, or you go in the route of more of a Giannis, treat him kind of like Giannis. Where Giannis, when Jason Kidd was there, he made him the point guard, but then when Mike Budenholzer, he made him more of a secondary playmaker, and you get him a guy like a Drew Holiday who's actually the point guard, which in this case, you go out and get a Cassam Wallace, or you go out and trade. I don't think Markelle Fultz is available, but if you could do a sign-in trade of Fred VanVleet to bring back Markelle Fultz, that would, I know, but there's no shooting there. Like, Markelle Fultz, he had a better shooting year. I think he had his best three-point shooting year this year. I want to check that out. 31% this year, was he? Yeah, 31% from 3. So it was his best year from shooting 3. And it's definitely, he's not obviously the best option, but you get what I'm saying. To go out and get a defensive, like, again, Markelle was not, but maybe like a Cole Anthony. But again, Cole Anthony doesn't provide you with defense. And it becomes hard. Again, I think you're able to I think they do need to make a choice, OG or Siakam. I personally think if you really want to build around Scottie Barnes, you go out and trade Siakam. I think OG fits better. You make OG and Scottie the 2 future. I think bring back Gary Trent, bring back Jakob Poeltl. And then I think the rest of the guys on this team, which we know Ron Harper, Delano Banton, Jeff Doughton, all restricted free agents. Bring back those guys. Otto Porter, you might decline his thing. Will Barnes, but Thad Young, I would waive him. Joe Wieskamp, I would keep him. He's a shooter. But again, it comes down to, right now Anunoby can get a 4-year, $116 million extension, and Siakam can sign a 4-year, $189 extension. So it's just weird. I want to hear your thoughts.